What up, gang of Lane, Carolina Jackpot Time coming at you. It is Saturday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing good today. Nice weather out today. Yeah, turned out to be decent on the way home right now. Just thought I'd get on a filibuster for a few minutes about college football stuff. Last night I watched an episode of That SEC Podcast. I don't know if you all are subscribed to that channel or not, but if you're not, I'm going to link the episode that I'm referencing down in the description box below. You can head over there and check it out if you'd like to. I enjoy the content they put out over there. I do a lot of live shows, probably 3-4 times a week at least. Michael Bratton and cousin Shane are the two hosts over there normally on the show. They have guests from time to time, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment. But I really like what they're doing. Content's really good and they're funny, and they don't shit on my team too awful bad, so I appreciate that as well. Now, if you'll remember, I know somebody's over there in the comments thinking that you didn't like them at one time. Nope, I didn't, because I got hit with a trademark violation about a year and a half ago. They had put up some kind of graphic on Twitter, and I didn't know what it was. The hell, I just copied it and cropped it and put it as part of a thumbnail of a video. And then I end up, that video gets not only demonetized, but it's totally taken down off the platform, off YouTube. You can't even find it anymore because of my trademark violation there, which I wasn't even aware I committed, but I did. And it was owned by them, by That SEC Podcast. And it told me that in the little letter that I got, or the email I got, about the video being taken down. It said it's been copyright strike instigated by That SEC Podcast. Now, I don't think that those two are sitting around policing every piece of information on the internet, scouring it to find things that someone has taken of theirs and used as their own. So that I kind of got pissed off and overreacted to it just a little bit. And now that I look at it for what it was, it's probably just some bot or something that picks things up like that. And that's probably what happened there. Or maybe they reported it. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong. So, hell, sue me. All right? I mean, you wouldn't get nothing much. Anyway, they had a guest on last night that might interview. Jake Wimberly was his name. He's from a radio station in Mississippi. He hosts a drive time show from 3 to 6 where he talks about college football, I guess, and other sports topics. Hopefully he does a better job on that than what he did last night, because he kind of pissed me off a little bit. Not too bad. No, it wasn't too awful bad. I'll give him that. It wasn't the worst. But he was going over the circle win totals for each team in the SEC, and he was talking about their records and where they might land at. And then he went on to ranking coaches, which I didn't. A total coach rank wasn't revealed on there. Apparently, that's over on the Twitters or in his vlog somewhere. Not surprisingly, he has Kirby Smart as his number one coach in the SEC. I mean, I think that's the obvious answer. He has almost the longest tenure. You could make a case, I guess, that Steve Sarkisian would be second place, but he's a far cry from being anywhere near first place. Although he has kind of picked his career up from it was in the shitter. Let's just be frank. Some years ago, when he had this problem showing up to practice drunk, and just looking at this now, it doesn't look like the same type of person who would do something like that. But yeah, back in the day, he liked to toss them back a little bit before practice, like get a little shit faced. Things happen. I think people mature. They grow up, they grow on from their problems. Apparently he's done that, so that's great. But he is not anywhere near the first number one and coach in the SEC. That definitely belongs to old Curb. But Shane Beamer, he had rated as his number 12 coach. And, I'm not really a buyer of that. I think that's a little bit disrespectful, a little bit low. Somebody in the comment section, too, where I made a comment about this, said, is the world coming to an end? You're defending Shane Beamer. Well, yeah, you know what? Winning kind of does that a little bit. Winning and not acting like a goof kind of bolsters your image in the public view just a little bit, wouldn't you say? And I don't know why that's such a hard thing for people to comprehend, but everybody, people, and in trash talking sports, people will do this. They're going to remember everything you ever said, even though they can't remember if their fucking shoes are tied or whether they paid the damn light bill this month or not. But they're going to remember in damn November of 2022, Carolina Jackpot tweeted something out and went on his team for a week. They're going to remember that, by God. And no exception here. But I think number 12, it was 12 for Shane's a little bit disrespectful, especially after what the team did last year. And this Wimberly character talked about that. He said, I know there's a lot of Carolina fans aren't going to like that, and there's a little bit of recency bias there, though. If we look at it through the 3-year sample window, which is what I use when I'm ranking coaches. Okay, well, why do you use a 3-year sample window, first of all? Why don't you use their entire fucking career? I mean, that's part of what they are. It's part of the tapestry that's made them what they are. Anyway, okay, that's fine. 3 years. He said he had a losing record in 2023. He did, not disputing that. And then the year before that, all he did was he just went 8-5. He's like, so he hasn't really done anything special. Only went 8-5. Well, he was 8-4 in the regular season. Let's not forget that year that he had some pretty rough games there toward the end, and then he pulled the program up like pulling the nose up on a jet before it crashes into the runway, and beat 2 top 10 teams. He cheated to beat one of them. We'll get into that a little bit later too. We're going to get into that. And he's exceeded his Vegas win total 3 out of 4 years he's been there. Not every one of these other coaches can say that. Probably some of the ones that you have ranked ahead of him, Wimberly, probably have not exceeded their win total either. Someone commented on that too and said, hey, they're like, it's called lazy reporting. It's like they're not going to do the research on certain teams. They're not going to read up on them. They're not going to look at the players. They're not going to really look at the depth charts. They're not going to necessarily, in layman's terms, they're not going to do the homework that they need to do in order to write these articles or do these interviews correctly. And we saw a little bit of that with this guy. From being from Mississippi, sounded like he talked a little bit more intelligently and a little bit more in depth about the teams that were part of the old SEC West. No surprise there. Regional ties, I kind of get it. But number 12, I think, is a bit low for him. I think he should be around the 10 range. Has Billy Napier right behind Shane Beamer. Why are these two always just stuck together like fucking glue? I mean, wherever Napier at, it's like Beamer sniffing his nuts and vice versa. To me, they're totally different coaches. Napier, the more X's and O's coach, who couldn't talk his way out of a wet paper bag. Beamer, more of the politician, program director type of coach that really, I think, is pretty hands-off with the play calling, and probably good reason for that. He's never been a coordinator. Don't know that he can even really call plays that much. So I think those two are probably in the roles that fit them the best. And I think Shane Beamer right now would take every day over one Billy Napier, despite the fact that Beamer has lost 2 games to Billy Napier. That's been a couple of years ago. This is a newer day. But also Wimberly talking about some of these about South Carolina. He's got them going 8-4, which is he's not that off base there. I don't think. In fact, I think that's probably about right. Now, I'm not doing that. That's not my prediction. I've not done my prediction yet. I've already told you guys I don't really like doing predictions until I get all the magazines in hand. And you're like, well, you're lazy. You don't want to do research. No, I don't have time to sit there and look up a bunch of articles and a bunch of interviews and watch a whole bunch of shit about every damn team online and on YouTube and wherever. I just don't have it. So this clear, concise, condensed, methodized version called a magazine really helps Carolina Jackpot out when I'm looking at rosters, looking at who's back, looking at returning production, stats from last year, those types of things. So that's not my official prediction, but I'd say that that's not that far off. I could see a game either way. They're over under 7.5. I'm thinking they're going to go over that. They've been pretty much consistently an over team. Once again, 3 out of the 4 years he's been there, they've been an over team. So I am looking towards that again this year. Got to replace the pieces on defense. So we're already talking about all that too. He didn't really mention a lot of these things, but he did mention South Carolina starting out 5-0, and looking at their schedule to start the season, they're got the neutral site game with Virginia Tech. Then they're home to play South Carolina State. They're at home against Vandy, at Mizzou, and then they're at home against Kentucky. I mean, everybody's talking about how tricky that Vandy game is going to be. And how tricky that game at home against Kentucky. They're at home. They're home games, people. I mean, obviously, I don't understand why people just continuously disrespect Missouri. That's clearly of those 5. That's clearly the most daunting foe of those 5. I mean, if I had to sit here and pick it today, I'd call it a loss. Just because of history, how you've done against them, and I don't think they're that far apart from each other's programs. Everybody last year wanted to call them the worst 9-3 team in the country, and I mean, that's your prerogative, and I understand there are some people that had certain reasons for thinking that way, but when I watched them in the second half against Carolina, they didn't look like the worst 9-3 team in the country to me. They looked pretty dang good. Now, when they were healthy, they were a horse. Unfortunately, they weren't healthy the entire year, so they took some hard L's. But people continuously disrespect Missouri. They don't believe in them. It's like I feel like people constantly disrespect the Gamecocks. They don't believe in them either. So all you can do is go out and win your games and shut these people up. What else? What else this guy said that pissed me off? I think that was about it with the Gamecocks. He talked about Tennessee, got them going 9-3. They got a shot to make the playoffs again. I mean, okay, they play a favorable schedule. I'll say that. The part I don't like is obviously no continuity at quarterback. I mean, you're going to use this Aguilar guy, and there's nothing set in stone that he's going to be your quarterback. It could be this Merklinger guy. It could be this George McIntyre. It could be either one of those. I don't know, but I would certainly think that Aguilar probably has the inside track since he's been a multiple-year starter, and he's been an interception machine. But the thing is, playing in a Josh Heupel offense, he's going to be required to get the ball out more quickly, probably shorter throws. I think that would probably lead to him throwing less interceptions if I had to call that one right now. But I'm not totally sure on that either. I don't see them being a 9-3 playoff team. I see them being about 8-4 too. And they have got their feelings all kind of up in a tangle about this noon game against Syracuse. I listened to that over on Old Sports Talk Jay's channel. I'm going to talk about him here in just a second. Sports Talk J, they don't like it. Oh, they got to play a noon game. And, you know, Syracuse was good last year. And, okay, well, they went to the playoff. They didn't go to the playoff, excuse me. They cut Miami from a chance to go to the playoff by winning that game. They didn't get to go to the ACC championship game. This is true. It's also true that Tennessee played Virginia in a kickoff game 2 years ago, and it was at noon, and I didn't hear anybody bitching about it. Everybody was just fine, as it was being played in Nashville, and they all wanted to go out and party after the damn thing. This one's in Atlanta, so, I mean, they're probably not going to, engage in all that, I wouldn't think. Maybe so, I don't know. But besides the point, falls typify Gen Zers in that they will complain about any and everything, and they complain about everything, and also nothing is ever going to be good enough. Nothing's ever going to be good enough. They're always going to find something to cry about. Here it's a schedule. Ohio State is another team that's crying about the schedule right now. No, we're playing too many noon games. Too many noon games. I know you all want to play night games. In Ohio, the lawmakers out here talking about a bill to fine TV companies such as Fox Sports for putting Ohio State on at noon. What are we doing? What is this world coming to? You think Ohio State is okay, state of Ohio, with you fining the company or the TV company, one of the TV companies that has TV rights to Ohio State? I mean, talk about, to me, that's a shooting yourself in your foot type scenario. It's like, I don't know. It's like taking away the knife that's buttering your bread. What are we doing? So I think I saw it. I thought Rob Sanders was the one who sent me this. It was a tweet or some kind of graphic from somewhere about that. Thursday, I think it was. And I'm like, this has got to be a joke, right? Is this a joke? Like, because, I mean, how is that even possible? That you could sue your TV company. Weird times that we're living in. It really is a lot of strange shit going on. But once again, with Tennessee, play your games. Shut up. Quit crying. Okay. I mean, that's all you can do. If you win games, you continue to win games, you'll play some night ones. You'll play some at night, and you'll be okay. And you can just shut up. And you'll be in your little safe space. And you can have your little blanket, and you can the best thing ever was. Oh, God, stand it. Anyway, Sports Talk J did put out a video yesterday. He's talking about the Michigan scandal. Look, he didn't mention South Carolina in this one for whatever reason. I don't know if he just forgot or he had a brain lapse there, but he didn't mention the Gamecocks. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna issue an open-ended challenge to him to see if he's got the balls to do it. You need to go on ahead and come on and get on the Rob and Kel show. Call in, whether it's next week or it's one night later on. It don't really matter. You click that link, you get on there, and you can stay on for 5 minutes or 10 or however long you want to stay on for, and talk your case and tell everybody there about how South Carolina beat Tennessee, and tell us all about your evidence and tell us what you've got on it. Because you're doing it on my turf, though. You don't have a live show that you do, and you're going to come over here and do it with us. But the thing about it is, you won't do it. You're not going to do it because you're the type of person who's not going to show up somewhere you can take a damn L at. You absolutely aren't, you gum-bumping asshole. You're not going to come take an L on my show from me or Rob Sanders or from anybody else, Peckerhead, or anybody in the comment section who's going to tell you, no, That's not correct. That's not what happened. Here's what happened. Anyway, that's about all I got to say about that one. Oh, by the way, this Wimberly guy says that he's got Clemson playing in a national championship game. Playing a national championship game. Ain't finished in the top 10 since 2020, but they're going to play in a national championship game this year. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, we'll see. Anyway, that's about all I got to say about that, guys. Really not a lot else going on. Just a lot of me, bashing dinglings and having to set the world straight on how things really are. And yeah, it's tough. It's a tough life I lead sometimes, but I'm able to push through. I'm able to muscle through it. Anyway, I will see you guys later on. I appreciate you. Peace, and I'm out of here. Go Gamecocks.